Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Matthew's celebration of life at the Universal Spirit Center. I'd love it if we could all stand together, and we're going to sing, "We let the love wash over us, we let it be." So if you join me, thank you. We're just going to wait for our pianist. She's on her way. Where is she? There she is. All right, super. So let's just take a nice big breath together, okay? Just take a nice deep breath in and let it out, audible. Just let it out. Let the energy move through your body. Thank you, Linda. We let the love wash over. Wash over us. We let the peace wash over us, and we let, yes, we let it be. We let the joy wash over us, and we let with the joy wash over. Yes, we let it be. Coming back to the love, we let the love, and we let the love wash over us, and we let, yes, we let it be. Thank you.
Yeah, it's off. Through this grief process. So we come together, we come together to share our grief. Maybe for some of us, this is the first time that we've seen each other since we've heard of Matthew's passing. So we come together to share our grief because there's something about coming together in grief that assists us in carrying it. So I'm glad that you're here today to share in the grief that we feel. We come today to celebrate a life well lived. For those of us who loved Matthew, we loved his adventurous, I think that's not working. Should I switch to the handheld? Those of us who knew Matthew, we loved his adventurous spirit, his passion. We experienced the struggle that he had in life, the way that relationship would ground him. He felt Universal Spirit Center, this place, was his home. He had deep connection with the Kava group. Many of you are here for that. He felt real grounding and experienced himself as being a true man in his relationship with his son, Alex. So we come together, we'll have a chance to tell stories. We come together to celebrate a life well lived. And we come together to remind ourselves what Matthew knows right now, and that life goes on forever, that his life did not stop with his passing here on earth. But it continues on. So we gather together, and the symbol for that is when Alex lit this candle, to remind us that Matthew is still around and that his life continues on. Since Matthew's passing, I've been sharing with Alex, I've been feeling him so much. And there's a particular story that I feel like he wants me to share with you that happened a few years ago. We were on retreat, and it was a mid-morning process we had where we would all go out on the retreat center and just be by ourselves and to think and to ponder and to meditate, to pray. So we did that for about 45 minutes, and then we would all come back together. It was a men's retreat. We'd all come back together and share what came up for us during that time. So we gathered together, and the thing was we weren't supposed to talk until we shared. So we all gather in silence, sit in this circle, and Matthew comes in, and it was a summer day. So he had shorts on, and he had on a tank top. And he comes in, and he's like all cut up. And he's all bruised, and he's all scraped. And I'm looking at his legs and his feet and his arms and his chest, and I'm like, what happened to this guy? And I'm thinking, he wasn't like that when we left for this little, 45-minute experience. What happened? So I'm very eager to hear Matthew share because I want to know what happened. So he comes to, it's time to share, and he says, I went off on this trail, and I reached the end of it, and he said, I decided to struggle through the thicket. And he went all through this way, the thicket, to get back to the retreat center. And I'm like, dude, why did you struggle? Why didn't you just go back the way that you came? But kind of, is that Matthew? That's kind of Matthew, the struggle. And like I say, I've been really feeling his presence, and at the risk of sounding too woo-woo, I really feel like he's got a message he wants me to share with you from him. Don't struggle so much. Like he did, kind of, sometimes, right? Don't struggle so much. Relax. Relax. It's really not that serious. I also feel like he's saying, love each other. Because we don't know when we'll be called to leave. Love each other and make sure that you forgive each other. And I just feel like he wants me to tell you that any of you feel like he owes you an apology, he's sorry. He's sorry. So I invite you to take a deep breath in. And his friend Marcy created a slideshow, and it's in the program as A Life in Pictures. And we're going to see that. Is Marcy here? I've not met. Hi, Marcy. Would you stand? I want to acknowledge you for this slideshow that we're going to present that you put together. Marcy. Okay, let's see the slideshow.
Thinks there's always tomorrow. I miss your touch on nights when
Better find that music. You don't want me singing.
young blood thinks there's always Young blood thinks there's always tomorrow. I miss your touch on nights when I'm hollow. I know you crossed the bridge that I can't follow. Young blood thinks there's always tomorrow. Young blood thinks there's always tomorrow. I miss your touch on nights when I'm hollow. I know you crossed the bridge that I can't follow. Since the love that you left is all that I get, I want you to know that if I can't be close to you, I'll settle for the ghost of you. I miss you more than life. And if you can't be next to me, your memory is ecstasy. I miss you more than life. I miss you more than life. Young blood thinks there's always tomorrow. I need more time, but time can't be borrowed. I'd leave it all behind if I could follow. Since the love that you left is all that I get, I want you to know that if I can't be close to you, I'll settle for the ghost of you. I miss you more than life. Yeah. And if you can't be next to me, your memory is ecstasy. I miss you more than life. I miss you more than life. So if I can't get close to you, I'll settle for the ghost of you. I miss you more than life. And if you can't be next to me, your memory is ecstasy. I miss you more than life. I miss you more than life.
This right here, tell me why, goes out to everyone that has lost someone that they truly love. Come on, check it out. Seems like yesterday we used to rock the show. I laced the track, you locked the flow. So far from hanging on the block for dough. Notorious, they got to know that life ain't always what it seemed to be. Words can't express what you mean to me. Even though you're gone, we still a team. Through your family, I'll fulfill your dreams. In the future, can't wait to see if you open up the gates for me. Reminisce sometime, the night they took my friend. Try to black it out, but it plays again. When it's real, feeling's hard to conceal. Can't imagine all the pain I feel. Give anything to hear half the breath. I know you're still living your life after death. Us while we pray for you. Every day we pray for you till the day we meet again. In my heart is where I keep you, friend. Memories give me the strength I need to proceed, strength I need to believe. My thoughts big, I just can't define. Wish I could turn back the hands of time. Us in the six, shopping new clothes and kicks. You and me taking flicks, making hits, stages they receive you on. Still can't believe you're gone. Give anything to hear half your breath. I know you're still living your life after death.
Awesome, Marcy. Thank you. And we really appreciate your technical help as well. So I want to acknowledge that Alex created this altar here. However, it's the altar that was set up in Matthew's apartment. And when it was set up like this, Alex took a picture of it and brought all the stuff here and then created it just as it was at his home. And he added his dad's ashes to it. So please come up afterwards and check out the altar. As well, Alex brought books and clothes from his dad. You're invited to take any of those with you as gifts. And then, yeah, that's what opens it. And also, do you want to say that, or do you want me to say it now?
I'm sure some of you have already found these, but these were handmade from the Marshall Islands. He brought them back and had intended to always give them to his friends and family and stuff, and I figured now would be the perfect time to allow everyone to take a little piece of him home. So.
Yeah, he'll give them, Alex will give them to you as you leave here. So Matthew, as you probably know, wasn't really into the Bible so much, but there was one quote that was his favorite absolute quote in the Bible, and he actually had it written out in his apartment, a picture of it framed in his apartment. And Wendy Goddard is going to read that for you now. Come on up.
Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices in the truth. It always protects. It always trusts. Always hopes. Always perseveres. Love never fails. But where there are prophecies, they will cease. Where there are tongues, they will be stilled. Where there is knowledge, it will pass away. Blessings.
Let's take a breath here, huh? We breathe a lot in the spiritual center. It's a good thing to do. So we have a message here from Devavani from Guam, and Devavani was a music director here for 15 years. She was a music director here, as well as she was friends with Matthew and became Matthew's mother-in-law. And so she has a message that I'm going to read to you, but then she's going to sing a song, Matthew's favorite song by the Beatles. Hello, family. Donna and I wish so much that we could be with you today. Please know that we send our love for Matthew and our hugs for Alex and all his friends and family that are present today. I was friends with Matthew long before we became family. Among the many memories I have, I remember going to Las Vegas to see the Beatles show with Donna, Rosie, and Matthew. What a time we had. We laughed and we danced, got very silly in the lobby of the hotel. I think we were all under the spell of the Beatles songs. I really treasure this memory of us being so happy together. We shared the love of so many things, Christmas and family gatherings, island adventures, travels, and music. I am so grateful to have had so many years with him as a good friend. I am sure I am not alone in saying we just weren't prepared to say goodbye so soon. As with so many tender moments, I turn to music to say it best. This is for you, Matthew, sung with love and the sweet aloha spirit which lives in those who feel free.
Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly all your life. You were only waiting for this moment to arise. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these sunken eyes and learn to see all your life. You were only waiting for this moment to be free. Black night. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly all your life. You were only waiting for this moment to arise. You were only waiting for this moment to arise. You were only waiting for this moment to arise.
I know Devavani and Donna are watching, so thank you for that, Devavani and Donna. So now's our opportunities for some of you. Any of you would like to share a story about Matthew? You're free to do that. There is a mic up here, but a couple things. There's a lot of you here, and we will have a reception afterwards. The family is hosting a reception, food. So there will be an opportunity there as well to share stories. So I'm going to really ask those of you who share to please be brief in your sharing. Not everyone here will be able to share, but we would like some stories sharing. But as I said, you'll be able to at the reception. So I'm going to invite anyone who would like to come on up and share a story. Yeah, come on up. And then Rosie, feel free. You're going to come up. You can stand right behind. Oh, you weren't. I'm sorry. Okay. That you were getting up.
Hello, everybody.
Would you mind using the mic? Because we are being
Sure.
broadcasted. And maybe move out a bit, Matt. That
Sure.
would be great. Thank you.
How's that?
Yeah.
My name is Matt Dre. Matthew was in our men's group for the last 2.5 years, or 3 years. It's a very tight-knit group of men doing emotional work. When Matthew first came, it's a very tight-knit group, and like I said, you have to be chosen and selected to be a member of our group with these conditions that you need our help and we can receive help from you. And we immediately got that from Matthew. On his very first day, he did amazing deep work about his father and cried, and it just blew us out of the water. And so we became very close over the next few years. And his work that he did with us affected all the men in our group so deeply and will for many, many years to come. The story I have to share is that Matthew came up to my country house up in the mountains, and you know, Matthew's very intense, right? So we're up till 3 o'clock in the morning talking spiritual stuff, right? So I'm like, man, I gotta go to bed, you know? So I went to bed, and I woke in the morning. Of course, he was already up outside on the porch smoking cigarettes, right? And I walk out, man, I'm like, I got about 6 hours sleep, and I come down, and he sees me, and he goes, Matt, and I'm like, yes, Matthew. He's like, I have to tell you the most amazing thing. I've reconnected with my son and had an amazing father-son moment. And I was like, hold on a second, let me get my tea first. And then we sat down and we talked about it, and I shared it with Alex a little bit before. Matthew's profound impact on our group will never be forgotten. In our belief, in our group, we believe he's with the ancestors now, and then we call upon him each circle that we will have from this point forward to share his energy, his wisdom, and his strength with us from now and for as long as our circle remains intact. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you. Anyone else like to share? Yeah, come on up.
I am totally unprepared. His name was Alan for me, Matthew Alan Godfrey. He was my husband. And God, how much I love him. You know, I fall in love of his kindness. He was very kind, and it was very easy, you know, to have conversation with him. He understood me, you know, deeply. And he was very silly. We always joke and, you know, we laughed at the stupidest things ever, you know. And he was a little crazy, you know. We did things that we were like, oh my God, I don't know. How did we get away with that, you know? And he was wild and crazy, and he was more the social butterfly, and I was more the, too many people, you know. But you know, I think we learned together to explore life. I met him in a very dark place, and I was so brutal to push him, you know, and teach him how to eat and heal spiritually, and, you know, marry again his relationship with his mom and his father and everything else, you know. So I think I picked him up and pushed him against his will, you know, to be who he became. And maybe I was a little too rough, but he was there, right? He got there. That's what it counts. And I so much appreciate that he did listen to me. All the time, he did listen, you know, with his kindness, and he understood me. And when we had our boy, you know, I am from Mexico, and I had no idea men knew how to change diapers. So, my God, I think it was very fun, you know, seeing a man changing their diapers, and he wear a mask, you know, a 3M respirator. And he helped me how to breastfeed him when we got married. There I was, you know, in my wedding dress and breastfeeding Alexander, you know, in the bathroom. And I choose to remember the good now and tell him I forgive him.
Okay.
From my heart.
Okay, Carlos. I will.
I think those words brought closure to me
My pleasure.
and to my son. Those were very, you just closed the chapter for me, you know?
Thank you.
And I choose to remember all the greatness things that we achieved. He was an animal lover like me, thank God, you know, and so we did very crazy things with the dogs, and I am only sorry that that I didn't let him take me out to the world, to the outdoors a lot more, and because I was scared, or I don't know. I cannot believe I am here today. This is definitely not the place I ever wanted to be. And so just know that as my first husband, I love him to death. And losing him, it was one of the worst pains of my life. Back in the year 2000, and now again today. The one thing that kind of brought peace to my life is when my son went through his personal belongings and he found so many evidence of my existence and the letters that I wrote him. And I think it is when my son understands the massive amount of love we felt for each other, and whatever happened, it happened, you know, but I just wanted you to know that he was a very kind man, a good friend. He will listen to you. He will cry with you, you know. That's the one thing, he was always crying with me, and sometimes, can you stop crying? This is about me, okay? For me. So he was very emotional, and I just wanted you to share that with you, and thank you for listening to me.
Thank you for being here,
Thank you.
Carla. Thank you. Enough time for one more share? Is there enough? Mike, come on down, Mike.
I'm Kristen. I was Matthew's girlfriend for the last 6 months of his life, and he meant the world to me. My family absolutely loved him also. And though many of you call him Matt, I call him Matthew because that's how he introduced himself to me both times I met him. The first time was at Midtown Church 15 years ago. The second time was at the Kava Collective in Hillcrest. A lot of you know him from that. Matthew was probably the most surprised person of all of us that he didn't continue to go on living because he absolutely loved life. I mean, he was also so proud of and loved his son Alex, and had many, many close friends and chosen family members. He was also an expert at deeply connecting with others, which is something I think he had to learn. I have some of his books on connection. We can honor him by remembering how he liked to stay in the present moment and enjoy his life by sharing experiences like camping and traveling, and helping himself and others grow spiritually. He also could fix most anything, and often did for people that he cared about. I understand he did a lot of work here in the church. So I believe he is with us now in spirit. Thank you, Matthew, for inspiring me to be my highest and best self. I so appreciate your kindness, generosity, and ability to connect with me so deeply. Let's see, one more paragraph. Matthew had many, many wonderful qualities, skills, and interests, and could talk about most anything. We can honor him now by doing what we love now and loving ourselves and others deeply.
And we'll conclude with Mike Bean.
I'm going to try this. Oh, Rosie.
Okay. Yeah, great.
My name's Mike Bean. Aside from Matt's family,
Can we get closer to the mic?
aside from Matt's family, I've probably known him longer than anybody else in this room. And I met him in recovery. Very, very special person. I knew it then. A little while later, he drugged me here and through the door, and I spent many years here finding my own spiritual path. And one thing I know about Matthew, he truly traveled that path in everything he did. Didn't matter what it was. Camping trips, convention in Hawaii where we spent 2 days riding motorcycles around the island and touching every spot we could. And he would call me when he was having problems with Alex, which happened from time to time. And just to share experience, strength, and hope. And man, he meant a lot to me. I spoke to him the week before he left for his trip, just to check in, which we did not often enough. And I, like everybody else in here, truly, truly not prepared. 55 is way too young. But I got to spend a lot of really, really good times. And we got to share our birthdays. We're 10 days apart. 10 years and 10 days. So we got to spend a lot of years sharing our birthdays. And I'm going to miss him. I truly miss him. Love you.
I wanted to share now so my mom can see. I'm Rosie. I was married to Matthew from 2012 till just recently. I hadn't talked to him in the last couple of years. That does not mean I didn't love him so much, and everything we shared together was all about growth, really. And he, the first trip we went on when we were dating, we went to Kauai. I wanted to hike the Nepali Coast Trail, and he basically would, any adventure I wanted to go on, he was down. On that trip, it's a very dangerous trail. I slipped and he dove for me. I was about to fall over a cliff. So he also saved me when I was drowning in Kauai. Alex remembers that. So, I mean, it just speaks to me of how fiercely he loved people and his family. And I know that the time we spent together, you and me and Matthew and Chloe, he cherished that. He loved family, he loved connection, and he became a part of our family so easily, and he fit right in. And I was just noticing this. We got this in Bali. This is coffee lawak. So it's a coffee bean that some kind of cat eats, and then it was really expensive, actually, and really good. But, you know, we tried everything. I wanted to go on a honeymoon in Bali, and he was like, let's go. So I appreciate so much all the things that he and I did together and shared together, especially family. And I was really shocked to find out he left us so soon. And I really felt him that day that you called me. And I went down to the beach and I talked to him, and I know he was there. I made peace with him. I wish I could have done it in person, but yeah, I felt him there, and I just felt so much love and release, and that he's happy where he is. I know he didn't want to leave you, though. So thank you, everyone.
Alex. You know, could we use this mic for Alex?
Hello, everybody. Spent the past few days, or a week or so, writing out my dad's eulogy. I put a lot into it, a lot of thinking, a lot of feeling. I actually spoke with Bonnie, wherever she is, and I love the word that she used. I was birthing it. It wasn't just a simple writing or anything like that. It was it took a lot of time and a lot of effort into putting this together. And I hope you guys can feel that. Today is strange, and delivering this speech feels unreal. My heart still lies dormant in a state of denial, while my mind and my body work to complete the tasks ahead of me. I don't want to be writing this and remembering my father as if he's no longer on this earth. Yet, part of me is happy for him. Growing up, my dad always told me how he was an alien, a being not of this earth. The more we grew to understand each other, the more I learned about my old man and how true this statement was. My father saw the light in everyone and was truly a light himself. He was able to read Matrix code, and he saw the truth, that we are all connected. traumatic life events, and outside influences constantly try to keep the greatest minds among us from seeing the truth. But my dad fought tirelessly to ensure that the truth lived on. A no bullshit zone is what he liked to call it. He was constantly digging deeper into himself, into the presence, meaning of God, and into the minds and hearts of other people. And doing so was how he encouraged people to be the best that they can be while still challenging himself. His quest for truth led to a constant path of self-reflection, even to the extent of contemplating what he would want said about him at a celebration of life. In one writing of his, he posed a question to himself. There's a celebration. What do you want to be recognized for? What will people say about you? I was disgusted at first. Not because it's a ridiculous question or anything like that. But because I couldn't believe that I had found myself in a situation where this letter, written by my father, would have any relevance to my life. But here we are. I'm standing before you to finalize this chapter and to open a new one. Yet my father's response to his question moved me, and it showed me a deeper part of his heart, character, and who he strived to be, parts of him that I never fully got to know. I can imagine his deep blue gaze as he says it now. Matthew is loyal and steadfast. He comes to life with an open heart. He shows up no matter what, and is someone who can be counted on. Matthew is always searching for the best part of himself and celebrates both his humanity and his spirituality. He is a person of integrity and honor. I've read this over and over since I found it, each time knowing this was truly his mission. After his passing, I got to hear so many stories of how proud my dad was of me and how much he loved me. But all I've been able to think to myself is I don't think I've ever been so proud to be my father's son. Not only did my old man successfully embody the traits he longed to be acknowledged for in death, but he managed to move the hearts and souls of those around him along the way as well. He was a beautiful soul, a true man who wasn't afraid to be loving and still kick ass when the time was right. My old man and I were very close in life, and now we grow closer the more I learn about him in death. He was a man of constant written self-reflection and bountiful photos, as you guys were able to see. And it's through these conduits of info that I've been given the privilege to know my dad deeper than before and experience his transformation in relation to how he viewed himself and his perceptions of life. Like a fine wine, he aged with time, but this isn't to say that it didn't come with the valleys of life. A quote I once read said that most men lead quiet lives of desperation. Yet, through any and all struggles he encountered, he managed to face it, find himself, and help so many others in the process, becoming the man so many of you love and are here for today. The amount of work he did, both externally and internally, towards the end years of his life, is where much of his greatest growth took place. Now I get to take everything he's learned, realized and felt, and carry on his legacy as the fulfillment of his life's work. Within me now lies a deeper awareness of who I am. Through my father, and honoring him, I will hold space in this plane of existence that pushes those around me, the ones that I love, to their highest potential just as he did, while further expanding myself. I would like to say thank you all for coming, and thank you, Dad, for all of the blessings you gave me in life and now in death. I love you, and I know you walk with God now. I will see you on the other side. Thank you.
Some say love that drowns the tender reed. Some say love, it is a razor that leaves your soul to bleed. Some say love, it is a hunger and endless aching need. I say love, it is a flower, and you, it's only seed. It's the heart afraid of breaking that never learns to dance. It's the dream afraid of waking that never takes the chance. It's the one who won't be taken, who cannot seem to give. And the soul afraid of dying that never learns to live. When the night has been too lonely and the road has been too long, and you think that love is only for the lucky and the strong, just remember in the winter, far beneath the bitter snows, lies the seed that with the sun's love in the spring becomes the rose.
Lauren Gray. And Linda Ely. So now is an opportunity to say a process of goodbye. So I'm going to take you on a little journey. I'm going to invite you to close your eyes. I'm going to invite you to breathe right into your heart. Breathe into whatever you're feeling now. And imagine that you are in a safe space, maybe out in nature. Someplace either you've been to before, someplace maybe you've been to with Matthew, or someplace in your imagination. And imagine from a distance that someone is walking towards you. And as this person gets closer, you see that it's Matthew. And he's got that smile grin that we all know as he sees you, as he looks so intensely into your eyes. And he comes and he sits next to you. And you have an opportunity now to share with Matthew what has been left unsaid. And you can sense, as I'm sure you have in the past, that Matthew's wanting to talk. And Matthew shares with you what it is that he wants to tell you. And Matthew completes what he wants to say to you. He probably has more to say to you, but so you both stand, and Matthew gives you one of his big loving hugs. So allow yourself to be hugged and hug Matthew. And then he turns and he walks away. And to the degree that you're able, you say goodbye. And yet, a part of you knows that you can always return here. That Matthew is still with you. That he lives on. I'm going to invite you to take a deep breath and bring your awareness back to the room. So let's kind of breathe through this one, right? So again, you're invited to take any of the personal objects from Matthew that Alex brought, and then Alex will hand to you the gifts from Matthew that he has. You're all invited to reception where there is food waiting for us. It's at 301 Spruce. It's in Bankers Hill. 301 Spruce. There's a front door there, and you just kind of go around the corner to the side, and there's a gate to an outside patio, and you'll see a taco truck there. So please join us, and those of you who would like to share stories will have an opportunity to do that. And on behalf of Matthew's minister, I thank you for being here today. I thank you for being a part of Matthew's life and for loving him. And I challenge you to forgive each other and to love each other. And now we have a song from Gino Walker, who is our music director here at our center.
Here comes the sun, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Here comes the sun. It's alright. comes the sun. Do-do-do-do-do. Here comes the sun. I'll say it's alright. Sun, 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 here it comes. 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 Sun, 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 here it comes. Yeah. Little darling, it's been a while since you have smiled. Little darling, it's been a